All right, make sure that beam's supported,
Yeah, well, I'm just rapping my fist against the wall. I don't have a hammer. I'm just kind of smashing these nails into the wall with my bare hands.
Just do your best. Remember last year? There were widespread riots.
God, this really hurts,
Sam, stop giving exposition. Lane, stop hammering those nails with your fist. I have great news.
What?
I volunteered us to run the fourth quarter employee forum this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Why are you... We're going to be right in the middle of the eye of the storm now. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yes, I know.
I've already boarded up half the room.
But what you fail to understand is if you plan the employee forum, you plan the whole thing.
Wait, we could talk about what awards are going to be given out to what.
We could finally put mozzarella sticks on the snack bar.
Exactly.
Oh, the possibilities are endless.
That's small picture stuff. Do you realize that the people that plan it every year present it? And the people that present it have to call Al up. Except this year, we're not going to call Al up.
But he's been Employee of the Year every single year, right? I've only been here, like a decade, so I wouldn't know. But
yes, exactly. So this year, instead of giving Big Al an award, we're going to have the Salt Mine Radio Awards. And there's not a damn thing he can do about it. Because he won't make a scene at his own award show. He'll just keep waiting, and then we end it.
Awesome.
It's a loophole that he wasn't planning for. He thought fear would keep us in line. But it didn't. We're like a Star Wars.
I'm sorry, what is that in reference to?
Star Wars?
Popular film franchise.
Yeah, no, what is that a line in the movie?
What? Yeah.
What movie? Which movie is that?
When
Number 4, where he says...
Luke turns to Leia and he goes, these Star Wars won't last forever.
Yeah.
Stop. I almost bought that for a second.
It's when he dissolves the Senate in the fourth one. He goes, fear will keep them in line. You remember this?
Oh, I remember that part because then he chokes the guy. That was the part that I remember.
Do you think that guy got off?
On being choked?
Yeah, that's why he fucks with Darth Vader.
Well, no, he died, didn't he?
No, he
let him go.
He always does it in the boardrooms. Hey, Vader, your lightsaber's pretty gay. Thank you.
Isn't that...
We're getting off topic. We have to host this award show, okay?
We do.
We got to jump right in.
Somewhere deep in the Arizona desert, 3 men are doomed to work for the rest of their lives, trapped within the confines of Big Al's salt mine. They gather weekly and survive the only way they know how, by recording this show. You're listening to Salt Mine Radio.
All right, well, this is going to be a problem because I've boarded up half of the room. My hands are almost stumps at this point.
That's the beauty of it, Lane. Use your feet.
Oh, just like that movie.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I think the first thing we need to do is cancel the Scrabble tournament.
I don't know. I like the Scrabble tournament.
Well, I used to think it was rigged, but no, Big Al's just very good at Scrabble.
Oh, damn.
What's he not good at? Pictionary. That's what we play.
Pictionary.
The Pictionary tournament.
Well, we're not very good at Pictionary.
I'm good at Pictionary. I'll win it.
Yeah, but your hands are all bloodied. You won't be able to draw.
Damn it!
I'm pretty good at Russian roulette, so
Oh, we can do that one.
We don't have any
sure.
guns anywhere around though. So
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know
Big Al has one.
No, I'm talking about playing roulette at a Russian
Casino?
at a Russian casino.
Oh,
I've never lost.
Okay, anyway. But first,
We're gonna
let's
cut
get
that.
into whoever's segment.
All right. I guess I'll be talking first. This is something that I ran across today because every so often I have a hankering to see some creepy stuff, right? And I know that the top posts are creepy on Reddit. They're not going to get me there, but it's a good jump.
And Lane started locking his anime closet.
Yeah, so there's really been a real dearth of creepy things around the salt mine. But anyways, so one of these posts was a picture of an animatronic bear that had been stripped down.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I was going to say, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, my
Yes.
favorite game series ever.
What?
I'm
You
joking.
mean that game where those low quality JPEGs attack you?
Yeah, you know the one that has like tons of merchandising, way more than it should, and like kids as young as like 5 years old are
like
really
7
getting into it.
sequels because he can just shit those out.
I think it has 13 games right now.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Anyways, one of the inspirations for Five Nights at Freddy's was the Rock Afire Explosion. I'm here on this Wikipedia page. They were an animatronic robot band that played in Showbiz Pizza Palace from 1980 to 1992.
the Showbiz Pizza Bear?
Yes,
Oh, I'm so excited.
Billy Bob Broccoli is his name.
Wait, it's not Showbiz Pizza Bear? It's Billy Bob Broccoli?
Billy Bob Broccoli is
the Showbiz Pizza
Yes.
Bear, I'm assuming.
He plays the bass and he has the bird at the end of his guitar.
Very, very funny you mentioned a pizzeria. I was thinking, how do we bring in the cash with an adult pizzeria? Okay, the
Walk me through.
pizzeria. It's a foot fetish and pizzeria emporium.
Wait,
It's
how
both
would
at the
that
same
would
time.
that work?
Do they like knead the dough with their feet?
Yes.
How did I connect those dots so quickly?
Oh no.
I'm telling you guys, this is the future of.
Wait, are all like the tables sunken down so all the waitresses are walking around with no shoes on, or waiters, we could be progressive.
Sure.
And they're walking around with no shoes, so your waiter's always on foot level with your face.
Yes.
And they have to bend down to give you your food.
Yes.
That is a good money-making scheme.
Right. That. I'm sorry. I had to.
Pizzeria?
Yes, the pizzeria. I thought of this earlier today. I shit you not, and I said I got to say this on the podcast.
Can we
And
get some architects to do some concept art for the pizzeria?
Yeah, we wrote some mock-ups for the pizzeria. Just how you would have it. It should have an animatronic band. I'm gonna push for that.
Can they
Anything.
sing "When the Foot Hits Your Eye" like a big piece of pie?
Boo.
That's amore.
All right. So it's worth noting that I watched a documentary on it, but this Wikipedia page is very informative, as it notes at the top. This article may contain an excessive amount of intricate detail that may only interest a specific audience.
It doesn't say that.
Yes.
Hold
it
on.
requires
it'll
cleanup.
It'll tell you when it's a stub and when there's too much information.
Yeah. Maybe written from a fan's point of view.
Oh,
rather than a
okay.
neutral
All right.
point of view.
I see.
All right. So, yeah, so I'm watching, so I see this picture of an animatronic bear, and of course in the comments they're like, hey, I remember this guy, he was Billy Bob Broccoli from Showbiz Pizza Place.
Can you pull us up a picture of that just so I have some frame of reference here?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
All right. And so him and the crew, Goonie Bird, Duke LaRue, Fats Geronimo, who was my favorite.
That's a
Who's
good one.
Who's Fats Geronimo?
He's a gorilla who plays the piano, modeled after Fats Domino.
What? Oh, that's good.
Was Fats Domino a black man?
Yes, he was.
Well, all right, never mind.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because at one point in the documentary, this guy, he still has some unsold sets because they made so many of them so quickly, and then Showbiz Pizza Place.
Oh, there it is.
closed.
That's the Showbiz Pizza Bear from that Red Letter Media video. There he is.
Oh, okay, I've seen that. Okay, pull up Geronimo Gorilla.
Fats Geronimo.
Fats, yeah, there we go.
He's they're actually in the music video for Electric Feel by MGMT as well. They play in the background.
Oh, okay, that's another place I've seen it. All right.
Yeah, they're sort of oddly popular in the background of Americana. It's interesting.
That's terrifying.
That's a scary gorilla.
He's less scary when he's moving, believe it or not. Yeah, so
He looks like a Hindu god of destruction with that flower behind him.
I strongly suggest
I am become Fats, destroyer of worlds.
So there's two main ways that the people who run this production make money nowadays, and that is selling off old animatronics.
Okay.
The creator, Aaron Fechter, is actually an animatronics pioneer. Like, he was one of the first people to do this.
Okay. What
and
to make
make animatronics.
Okay.
And he continues to make them and sell old sets. And then there was a mega fan in this documentary who's like, I grew up going, like, every weekend I'd go to Showbiz Pizza Palace, blah, blah, blah. Pizza Place, rather. So he's like, to recapture my childhood, I bought a full set and he reconstructed it in this warehouse. And he goes, some people, they smoke or they play video games or whatever for their getaway. And I just go here to my
personal Showbiz Pizza Place.
Yes. And he's a little off. He's the definition of like a hillbilly, like he's from Alabama. But he'll like rent it out free of charge if kids want birthday parties in there and stuff. He's like, I just like having them recapture the magic of my childhood. And he seems like a decent guy who just built a tiny recreation of an animatronic band in a warehouse.
Just a genuine guy.
Everything about that sentence.
Anyways, the second way that they make money is that for a nominal fee, he will program them to sing and play along to any song that you want.
Okay.
And then he'll post the video on YouTube.
This Alabama guy.
Yes.
Okay, so he's a programmer as well.
Yes, they're all still done by like those old Apple II 1980s computers.
That's kind of cool.
Pneumatic pumps and stuff going at the time. It's actually a really interesting process, but again, it's an animatronic band that used to play at a pizza place.
Wait, so do they sing the song as well?
They used to have reel-to-reel tapes that were synced up to the programs with voice actors, and now they just like still sync. They'll mime to it. The guy Aaron Fechter, the guy who created it, he did a few of the voices, and he'll do like some like skits and stuff. I'm not sure why, but again, they're preserving this weird, odd piece of Americana. So the video for them performing "Love in This Club" by Usher is actually really oddly entertaining. They do "I've Got a Feeling" by the Black Eyed Peas, where they actually got a few of the voice actors back to redo it. And I'm really glad that they overdubbed the audio, because at a certain point in the documentary, they just show them moving, and you hear the whole time, because it's just pumping and removing air to make them move around and stuff.
Well, that and you can hear homeless people screaming. Let us out of here! What's that louder? I got a feeling. Ah!
Yeah, so I guess props to this guy for keeping his dream alive. But it was a very weird. The more I plunged into this rabbit hole, the sadder I got.
Because like these are just people who can't let go.
They can't let go of the time. He's like, we used to open up a new restaurant every weekend. They would fly me in the costume, and I would dance for the kids, and I'd get to set up my animatronics. That 1981. I've never had more friends than I did in 1981. And it's just I don't know. It really made me sad.
That sounds depressing as shit. But like, he's pretty well off then right now. Like, is he?
Well, he had a company that was called Creative Engineering, and he used to have like 300 employees. They
What
would
a
make
very creative name.
What was the 80s?
They would make the molds. They'd make everything in house. They'd ship out these units,
Right.
And eventually, by the end of like 1992. Creative Engineering kept the rights to the Rock Afire Explosion, but the Showbiz Pizza place was bought out by Chuck E. Cheese Pizza. So
Okay, what is the explosion? What you haven't gone over that yet.
the
That's
band
just
is
the name
the
of the
band is
band.
called the Rock Afire Explosion.
Oh, okay. I've been waiting this whole time to find out like
No, the building-
what pizza place exploded and killed people, and then
The Creative Engineering warehouse actually blew up, and I had a lot of trouble actually discerning how that happened, because I kept running into the Rock Afire Explosion. Because he goes, yeah, he has all these video blogs on his page now, and he goes, yeah, we had to kind of sift through some stuff after the building blew up. But anyways, this is the original programming thing, and I'm like, wait, go back for a second. But so eventually he had to lay off all his employees. It's just him at Creative Engineering in this warehouse. He seems to make a living. He's probably pretty well off from his time building and designing animatronic robot bands.
when he still builds animatronics, right? From what I understand.
Now he sells an animatronic inventor's kit on his website.
Do we still use animatronics? Like, is Hall of President still around?
Yeah, at Disney.
Yeah. There's that. I actually went to a Chuck E. Cheese recently for my nephew's birthday, and they had a single Chuck E. Cheese animated.
Yeah, no. So the last time I was there, they had the whole animatronic band.
they did?
So I have not been there though since then, because I've not had a reason to go into a Chuck E. Cheese's, because I am not a pedophile. Do you know that they won't let you in, like, if you're over a certain age by yourself?
Yeah,
What if you just want some pizza and some fun?
You
can't.
You can't.
They know what's up.
Yeah, they have a good system for stopping pedophilia. So
Another interesting part of the documentary is that, like I said, they sell off these sets, and he's talking about a set that he sold off to a restaurant in Jordan, and he goes, they wanted a few changes
in
the country of Jordan, like
Not just a fella named Jordan.
okay. Well,
in the Middle East.
yes,
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
wondering.
and he goes, the Fats Geronimo character was too scary.
It's terrifying.
So we made him different, and it cuts over to him, and he's like a lighter shade of brown. And I was like, oh, so they whitewashed Fats Geronimo.
I was gonna say, like, isn't it an albino gorilla or what?
I kind of chuckled to myself, and then later on he goes, all right, so this is the scrap room. You know, people come in here if they've got a set, they might want something. I'll trade them for it. And he goes, like this black fur that I took off the other Fats puppet. Somebody might want that because we made the whiter one. And then he just moves on. I was like, he knows what's up. He's fine with it. He's like, they wanted a white Fats Geronimo. The market's pretty limited for these old sets. We're gonna make a white Fats Geronimo. Yeah, so I suggest like looking up a couple of these videos because it's actually fascinating. But then stop before you watch the hour-long documentary because it's just oof.
Yeah, that sounds sad.
Is it like super? It's that sad.
Yeah. Because like I was saying, there's the guy, and it shows like his glory days in the 80s when like he was at the expo for Showbiz Pizza, and like they're all performing the songs, and like they were a real band. Like the guy who did the guitar did the voice for the puppet who does the guitar, like everything. And he's like dancing and having a good time, and then it cuts to him now, and he's like he has that you know how some people like rock stars who are delusional about the fact that they're washed up. Mm-hmm. Like he has that quality to him. And it's like part of me wants to be like good on you for following your dreams and stuff, but I don't know.
Move on to the Japanese sex robot animatronics. That's where it's all at.
It reminds me of there's a documentary called Best Worst Movie. It's about Troll 2. So the kid who was in Troll 2 grew up, and then he made this documentary. And the guy who plays his dad, he's like the nicest guy in the world, and he's like a dentist in this small town. And he's like, oh, I was in this movie back in like '86. And people are like, oh, okay. And they love this guy because he's so nice. So he realizes that there's a cult following for the movie. Mm-hmm. So he starts like going on these tours, and he's like, oh, I'm in the worst movie ever. And like people are like, okay, like he's trying to explain to like his patients who don't understand like cult movies, and they're like, why would you watch a really bad movie? He goes, well, it's fun. Like you get together and like, I don't understand. And so he's at like a horror convention, and like he's right across from like the guy who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4. And then there's like,
you told me about this.
Some chick from like a vampire movie. And he goes, this is just sad. He goes, these people need to move on. He goes, they were famous, 20, 30 years ago? And then like he sits down like laughing, and then you see him have this moment of, oh no, that's me. And then he's like, I'm not doing, and then he stopped doing conventions after that. Wow. And you can see on camera the moment where he realizes that he's just as bad as them, and he's like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm going home."
Nice.
But all he wants to do is be famous, and he doesn't realize that he's the most famous person in this town because he's the nice dentist and everybody loves him. All he wants is everybody to love him, and he doesn't realize that he has that.
Wow, that's actually a really interesting story.
All right, question. So this is I guess maybe like a side bit here.
Side bit of the week.
So what is the best documentary you've ever seen? What is the worst?
Jiro Dreams of Sushi
is the best one.
Best one I've seen. The worst one. It was called Hecklers. It was made by Jamie Kennedy.
Okay. And
it's all so it starts. I'm like, okay, it'll be like how comedians deal with hecklers. Mm-hmm. So it starts out that way, and then it soon devolves into Jamie Kennedy doesn't like it when you say his movies are bad. So then he starts talking about movie critics and how they're all wrong. And then at one point, he goes and talks to Yui Bowl. And he's like, yeah, Yui Bowl challenges his critics to a boxing match. How awesome is that? And I'm like, well, no, he makes horrible movies. And he's like, you go, Yui Bowl. So then he goes to all these people who make horrible movies. And he's like, I'm so sorry that people criticize you. And he's like, no. So his whole thing was that artists should be immune to criticism, when the main point he was trying to make is that comedians deal with hecklers in different ways, but it goes way off the rails. It says more about Jamie Kennedy than it does about anybody else.
Than about the people who criticize Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah, and then he has like Joe Rogan on there, and Joe Rogan's like, yeah, you're going to get a heckler, and there's a right way to deal with it. And so, but he keeps cutting to like these comedians who just want to talk about hecklers, but then he like contorts it into being about general thing about criticism. And I'm like, those are two very different things, Jamie Kennedy.
All right, Sam, how about you?
I saw one.
Is this the best one?
See, yeah, I can't think of a terrible documentary that I've seen, to be honest, other than like boring nature documentaries.
Okay.
And like I love nature documentaries, but there's some that are pretty far up their own ass. But it's about a rock group called Thor, and it was actually very similar to this. Now that I think about
Didn't
it,
you talk about this on a podcast?
yeah, not on the podcast. I think it was actually earlier. No, yeah. So it's this rock group called Thor that are big in the late '70s because the hook was like the singer. He looks like Thor, like he's a bodybuilder. He's actually really a ripped guy and everything. And then they sort of faded into obscurity. And he kind of kept going with these shows, and he's like, Thor's going to have a big comeback, I can feel it. And it's sort of chronicling that. But then he goes to this metal festival in, like, Iceland, and they're like, oh, Thor, we love you guys. And they played, like, this huge crowd. And eventually they go to this small Icelandic town where, like, everybody knows all the words to their songs, and they have, like, this goodbye show and everything. And it was really touching, and it was really, really interesting. So, yeah. That one was pretty good.
Okay.
So about somebody living in the past, but I guess it was kind of cool because he was justified in his faith about his metal group having a comeback. Yeah. I've actually heard really good things about Jiro Dreams of Sushi, and
It's so good.
Yeah, it's very good.
I really like the Best Worst Movie is also one of the better ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I like ones where they're able to tell a story on accident. Like I guess it's probably their intention. Like
Yeah.
Harmontown, I know they told that story on accident because
Mm-hmm.
like I heard the behind the scenes, but it's still a good story. Another one is Free to Play. It's about Dota players. That one has like one of the most satisfying endings to a movie in general that I've seen. But no, Jiro Dreams of Sushi is awesome
awesome.
because the whole movie is about him and how like his son wants to take over and he's old. He's like whatever. And the end of the movie, he goes, yeah, my son really wants to take over, but what he doesn't realize is that he's been doing all the work this whole time. And then it like rewinds back through the whole documentary, and you see his son doing all the work. And you're like, oh. And then the last shot of the movie is Jiro on a train. He looks up at the camera and he smiles. You're like, what happened to my emotional journey just now?
Awesome. What about you, Lane? You have any good?
So that one is one of my favorites. There are a lot of documentaries that I've watched that have like made me emotional. Now I don't know if they're good, but like they do a good job of like, you know, messing with your emotions. Just because some of these, you can make a documentary about anything, right? One of the ones that I remember, have you seen Dear Zachary?
No.
Oh, Dear Zachary might be the best now that I think about it.
Okay, so now see, like I don't know if that one's the best. So it's basically just about some guy who was an amateur filmmaker, right? And he was friends with all these people. And then he got married and was murdered by his wife. And she basically got off. Didn't have to do anything for
It was a weird technicality.
Yeah, and then she had his kid. And then, you know, so the guy's parents, so the grandparents of the child were like, well, no, we're going to take that kid because you're unfit to be. And all this stuff happens, and it gets to the point, you know, where basically the judicial system fails, and she kills herself and the kid. And the guy making the documentary was this guy's best friend. And he started making it before any of this happened. And like then this came up and happened.
Because Dear Zachary is the name of the kid. And he goes, here's a story about your dad. Because you're not going to grow up knowing your dad. So I interviewed all of his friends and everything. They're going to tell you about him. And then halfway through the film, it happens. And he goes, all right, you know, now this is about... Because now that the grandparents of Zachary became like activists for change in the courts and things like that. So that's where the focus becomes.
Yeah,
It's like that 9/11 documentary where it started out, they were making a documentary about New York firefighters.
Oh,
and they
wow.
go out on a call. They're like, oh, there's a gas leak down here on 4th and Main. And they go down there and you hear, and the camera pans up just as the first plane hits.
Oh,
and the
that's
whole rest
amazing.
of the thing is about all of the people they had been following since training dealing with 9/11.
That's crazy.
It's pretty nuts, actually.
Yeah.
What's another one? There's that one about the whale. So Ryan Reynolds is the narrator in that because he grew up in this town, and it's all about this whale who like comes into the cove, and because it's an orca whale, it's a protected species. There's all this bureaucratic nonsense going on. SeaWorld is trying to catch it to bring back to SeaWorld. Because they're saying that if it ever gets back out into the ocean, it won't be able to reconnect with like other orcas and all this, and it all culminates in a fucking tour boat just brains him, you know. And I know that's funny to say, but it's like totally heartbreaking in this movie because like so the day the whale showed up was the previous day, like the Native American elder who like everybody in town loved died, and then the next day the whale shows up. So obviously they're like, well, that's him. I mean, he just reincarnated as a whale and just came over here.
Obviously.
Well, so then, you know, like all these Native American people are like, well, no, you can't take the whale. I mean, this is a sacred animal, you know, and so like they're having protests and all this shit. So I like that one.
There's a Stanley Kubrick, however you want to say his name, Kubrick, documentary narrated by Tom Cruise, and I like it because it talks about his entire career. And it doesn't shy away from how big of a fucking asshole that he was. So I really like that one. Exit Through the Gift Shop. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
It's about street artists. So it does Banksy, the Obey guy, I forget his name, and somebody else. But it starts out, and it's a documentary about this guy making a documentary about Banksy. And then the guy like becomes so enchanted with him that he starts making his own like pretentious street art. And then Banksy's like, well, that's not real street art. It's not coming from a good place. So then it's about how pretentious this community is, but it's a community that's like, we hate pretentious art, but then they became what they hate. Yeah. It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Probably one of the worst ones I've seen. And I don't know why I thought of this, but that Brony documentary that came out.
There's a Brony documentary?
So you've not heard of this?
I've heard of the Second Life documentary.
That one is sad. But I think the Brony one is even more sad, I guess, because, you know, this was all good and fun, you know, 5-6 years ago when it was like an ironic thing, you know, and then as soon as it got like a little bit too serious, like people are like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, all I do now is make a pony porn animations, and these people give me hundreds of dollars, and I say, okay, well, time to. So I burned all those T-shirts.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I'm like, I will not associate with this anymore.
By the way, do you remember the time that we got the president of the Brony Club to say?
I still have that on tape somewhere.
To say what?
He goes, we were like, would you say that Bronies are one of the most like hated or persecuted groups? And he goes, oh yeah, for sure. I was like, in the world? And he goes, probably, yeah.
People just really don't like it, and I don't understand why. You know, because we're all about friendship, and then, you know, I brought up the whole, okay, so there's been some stuff on the internet about like pornography and things like that. Oh yeah, it's called clopping. Okay, all right, thanks. Didn't know that. I knew that, right? We're just baiting it out of him, you know. This documentary was totally serious, first of all, right?
And it was sympathetic to the Bronies.
Yeah, and, you know, like there's a lot of it is about, you know, playing to the whole, oh, people don't like us and we don't know why. But, you know, watching it, you're like, I very clearly see why people don't like you. You know, like, I mean, it's not really funny to make fun of kids who are socially awkward, but like when you're tempting it too much, I gotta be like, okay, at some point, dude, you know, like
have some self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think this was crowdfunded. This documentary was. I never watched the whole thing all the way through, but. Like, there's some interesting things to that community, which is still around, surprisingly. Wow. Like, there are a lot of people who make a lot of money off of it because so many people consume it, like fan stuff.
It's a money-making scheme.
It really is. It's a money-making scheme. All right, what children's toy line do... Well, actually, we can't do that because we don't have the rights to it. Damn it. Never mind.
We could probably partner with the guy behind Rock Afire Explosion.
Yes.
You know what?
I don't feel like people want to masturbate to robots.
Okay, you could.
Well, those robots.
Now, okay.
I don't know. Mitzi Mozzarella kind of had it going on.
Mitzi Mozzarella.
You could make those sexy, but hear this. You guys know that I love Street Sharks. You know, it was obviously just a ploy to like cash in on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Could you say it was
a money-making scheme? Oh, okay. Yes. But I had all the toys and all that shit, right? But like, I think the concept is cool. Like, if I were to reboot something, if I could reboot anything in my own way, that is what I would reboot.
Could you make a live-action Street Sharks?
That's what I've had a really tough time trying to figure out if I would go animation or live action. But see, that's the thing. If I were to reboot Street Sharks, you do it in, you know, in a way that is not like a 90s cartoon. Like you would make it interesting to like current audiences, but you wouldn't change like that much of the source material. You know, like I still very much want you know Dr. Paradigm to be in a big goofy like scuba suit all the time, but you just make it a little bit cooler, you know. Okay, so you guys don't make me go into my pitch. I have the whole story written for the pilot episode.
I want you to do that for your segment one of these weeks.
I will. But so you know, one of my things is that the guy who's a swordfish, he wears a unitard. That shit's gay as fuck. Okay, you put like a fucking, you know, like a military combat vest and some fucking, you know,
a swordfish.
Well, he's an anthropomorphic swordfish.
Oh, it's not ridiculous.
We'll raid the Far Cry costuming department.
Exactly. Okay. Look forward to next week when I do my Street Sharks pilot reboot episode.
Oh my God.
All right, so yeah, that was a quick walk down memory lane. If you were alive in the early '80s, you might remember Rock Afire Explosion.
Hey, Dad, if you're listening. All right, what next?
All right, that was my segment.
Well,
Pretty good
all this
segment,
talk about
Awesome.
animatronic animals playing a band, we should get a band for the award show.
Awesome, definitely.
Let's
Yeah.
get the white Fats Geronimo though,
Can we get a whiter fat straw?
like an albino gorilla kind of thing. Who wants to go next?
What is your sketch?
I'm going to talk about using.
Okay, we'll segue from
using-
yours into mine.
Okay, so this week, a kind of a heady, controversial topic I want to talk about.
Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Now, I've coined a term recently. It's called social snake oil. Okay? Now, you're back.
This is a very good term. I've used this twice today.
It's so good. So, you know, like, people used to come on the TV. You gotta try this, okay? You put this cream on your head and it
Rogaine,
makes Rogaine, you know, things like that. That's all snake oil. It doesn't actually work. Or go watch this movie this weekend and you're going to be supporting the church and everything. You know, it doesn't actually mean anything like that. I guess that's more social snake oil. But so it's convincing you that by doing something you're supporting, you're being socially active,
Okay.
or you're solving a problem, even though you're not actually solving a problem.
This goes with Twitter activism.
The big example here would be how recently when that guy won the presidency and people were wearing safety pins.
Those are social snake oil.
Because that safety pin doesn't mean anything. It doesn't help anybody. And people were going on the internet and selling, a safety pin on a necklace for like upwards of like $30.
Yeah. And it's a double thing because it also is a money-making scheme.
And what do these safety pins represent again?
It was you wear it to show that...
you're an ally you're an ally of LGBT.
Once again, it was to show that you're with the people without actually being with them.
So it's more about the, like you're saying, the social prestige rather than actually doing
Actually
something.
doing something.
It's like shorthand for being woke. It's like look at me.
Yeah.
I'm doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Twitter activism is
I have 2 incidents of this in the movie industry. 3. The first being back in 2012, a movie called Red Tails came out. And this was executive produced and ghost directed by George Lucas. So this is a bad movie. The curtains have been pulled back on Red Tails, and it's a bad film. So George Lucas made this movie with all of his trillions of space bucks. And then he was shopping it around. I found out about this. I was rewatching Half in the Bag episodes, so this is all sourced by Red.
All right.
But he made the movie and he wanted somebody else to pay for it because he's a businessman, and he kept
it's
going.
all a money-making scheme.
Well, he would go to studios, and the studios didn't buy it from him, and he's like, "Well, the reason must be because it has black people in it." We now know that the reason was that it was a bad movie, and he's like. So he goes around to Jon Stewart, Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure he'd made an appearance on some sort of Bill Maher program. And he's like, studios don't want to buy movies with black people in them. And they're like, what? He goes, they said there was no foreign market. What? And then he's like, yeah. And then Oprah Winfrey's like, we got to prove them wrong. So then it became a thing of go see Red Tails to support the black community. Turns out it was just exploitive and not a very good movie. So that was George Lucas selling you social snake oil. Now, he probably doesn't actually believe that the movie helps black people. He just didn't want to pay for it. And his big thing was he touted it as one of the first all-black action movies.
Wasn't there like a whole genre of black action movies?
That's exactly correct. So he's full of shit.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to get too into this, but like as a white dude, you shouldn't take it upon yourself to make a black action movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, the director was a black guy.
Okay.
But then he left to go shoot his HBO show about New Orleans. And then George Lucas is like, well, I have to direct all these reshoots. So you can see scenes that were very obviously directed by George Lucas.
I hate sand.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's coarse.
We got some sand on our 4 o'clock. Shoot him with all of our black power. So, yeah. Another incident. So Clint Eastwood made 2 movies. He made Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. Both about Iwo Jima, one from the perspective of the American soldiers, one from the perspective of the Japanese soldiers. Both great movies. I think
Awesome.
he won an Academy Award for at least one of them. So,
I think it's Letters to Iwo Jima.
which is a good movie.
Because I remember when that won an award.
Yeah, so Spike Lee, notorious director, got mad at Clint Eastwood because he's like, there's no black people in your movie. And Clint Eastwood went, well, there was no black people during this battle. Okay, but there's no black people in your movie. Yeah, I know, there's no black people in this battle. And so Spike Lee went and made his own movie called Miracle at St. Anna. Red Tails was a critical and financial disaster, by the way.
I'm sure, yeah.
So then Spike Lee makes this movie, and I've seen Miracle at St. Anna. It's not a good movie. It goes absolutely nowhere. Critical and financial failure. So a more recent example of this, 2016's Answer the Call, also known as Ghostbusters, where the pitch was, you go see this movie and you're fighting those basement-dwelling misogynists. And don't lie and don't tell me that wasn't the pitch, because that was very much the pitch.
Oh, yeah, no.
Go support women in movies. Not enough women in movies.
Not the boogeymen.
And that was a financial and critical disaster. I won't say critical because it was like, what, people liked it. But a lot of those people were liars. It's social snake oil. It's a money-making scheme, even though it didn't make any money. That's fine, though. So what I'm trying to say is when you market your movie like that, it normally doesn't work out very well. I've given you 3 examples. Now I'm sure there's more examples of when it did work. So let me talk about a movie that came out this year with a highly diverse cast. Main character is a black man, and was one of the top 10 grossing movies. Suicide Squad. You notice that the big pitch for that movie was go support black cinema with Suicide, because that's not what the point of the movie was. The marketing was the characters and the action. Now, sure, critical failure, but financial success.
And it showed that people don't really care about the race of the people that are playing these characters.
And then if you turn it into activism, you turn away more people than you bring in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's a place for movies that specifically address like 12 Years a Slave or something like that, where it's like it does matter that guy's black because it's telling a story of a
so I
slave.
went and saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
But that movie was not marketed as go see this to support black. That movie was like, here's what happened in history.
Exactly, yeah, because that's a black story. Taking a story that's not very good and saying, well, you can't criticize it.
And it's a
black
fantastic
story.
movie.
No, yeah, it is. So, yeah, if you try and take your shoddy movie like Red Tails and prop it up with some social activism to make it immune to criticism, you're hopefully going to keep getting called out on your bullshit. Like we've seen.
Now, I think the only problem is that the further and further we go, it'll get to a point where that will be the only thing that, like, some movies are going to be about. Like, there will be absolutely no substance besides.
I think that we're going to get to. I hope we get to a point where people are tired of that shit
and start caring about quality.
and start caring about quality.
That would be nice.
I know I'm tired of it, and I just don't care anymore. I know I'm not solving a problem by buying a movie ticket, so what's the point?
Yeah.
If you really want to support black people in arts, go donate to a school in a poor neighborhood to get the arts programs going. Like, do something about it. You know what I mean? Don't.
Yeah.
Spend $30 on a clothespin. That's outrageous because it's like these people. We talked a little bit about this on the episode with social media, where it was like the people who will co-opt a hashtag to make themselves, to self-promote. It's things like that. It's not a genuine sentiment. If you really care about something, you won't care if you get recognition for helping it or not. Yeah.
So that was my segment. I don't know.
That's a good term, social snake oil.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of good old George Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
Now, this isn't about George Lucas.
You mean the man that sold his company to white slavers?
White slavers, you say? Well, who are those white slavers, Gage?
How's the Disney music go?
The Disney Corporation.
The Disney Corporation. That is right. So my segment is on why the Disney Corporation is evil, how they will actually never be stopped, and I am actually pretty scared of what they're capable of.
This is an insult to life itself.
So, are any of you guys familiar with any Disney controversies?
You told me when we were at Carl's Jr. the other day.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of like obviously the story of like the Disney starlet or the child star on a Disney show, they usually go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Walt Disney was a Nazi.
Yeah.
Was he a Nazi or was he just anti-Semitic?
I think he was a Nazi supporter.
We'll just say he's a Nazi. Fuck you, Walt.
Oh wow.
I know you hear me with your cryogenically frozen ass. But,
Exactly. So
Is that true?
no.
yeah, they cryogenically frozen.
Where is it at?
I couldn't tell you. They probably have him.
He's underneath Disney World.
That's the rumor, isn't it?
I'm sure.
Speaking of him being buried under, now I know that you never saw me get this, but in Resident Evil, there is a room that you walk into where once you complete the puzzle, there's like it looks like a summoning room, and like once these puzzles are completed, evil will awaken, and there's like a giant coffin like up on the ceiling and all this shit, right? So I imagine that deep in the bowels of Disneyland, like night and day, necromancers are just like praying and chanting over the giant tube that's holding Walt Disney, waiting for the day that their dark master may rise again.
And you're saying this because you think that Disney is an evil corporation?
Yes. So with the Starlets thing, that one of the most major ones was Hillary Duff. Now Hillary Duff has turned out all right.
Say Hillary Clinton.
No. Yeah, remember back when she was, 40?
Lizzie McGuire.
No, so Hillary Duff, there was a lot of problem, and there always have been, with Disney Channel stars, so live action ones, not getting paid what they really should be for the amount of money that they bring in for the company. And that's always been a problem. Disney is a business, but that doesn't mean you have to run your business like shit,
cold-heartedly, yeah.
Now, one of the controversies that I remember most vividly because I experienced this was in about the early to mid 2000s, Disney would pay their gay and lesbian employees I don't remember but it was that they supported gay and lesbian couples. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Christian activist groups hated this. Mm-hmm. And then, there have been a lot of controversies over like stuff in the films that a lot of people have found like subliminal messaging. And it's all just fake bullshit that a bunch of Christian parents are rewatching.
If you look really closely in Song of the South, you can see that racism and slavery wasn't that bad. Just like a real close reading of it. Zippity doo dah, zippity day.
I love the cut parts from Fantasia,
oh, yeah.
where the little black centaur is shining the shoes of the white centaur. Disney,
and what's funny is that Disney constantly re-releases those things and changes them. Mm-hmm. Like very recently, even there's a scene in Aladdin where people think that when he's like talking to the tiger, that people think he's saying, "Teens, take your clothes off." And I as soon as I read that, I went and watched it, and I said, "What? Is that what? How many times did you have to put this on loop to like get that?" So in the DVD version, they changed it to a completely different line.
Oh wow!
And like cut the sound so that way it's very clear what he's saying. I'm like, why do you have to appease these people that are like so crazy they think there's subliminal messaging? Mm-hmm. So that's not necessarily evil. That's just some people being crazy about an evil corporation. Mm-hmm. So recently, along with the copyright stuff, they are always pushing copyright stuff forward. So that way, Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, Donald Duck, all them, going forward, don't fall into public domain. And like Gage just said, well, the Disney Channel Disney Corporation will still make money off of it. They just want to be the only ones to make the money off of it.
I guess I understand them wanting to keep the copyright, but...
Well, so the thing is that people are saying it's a bit unethical and silly because instead of creating like new content, like really, they're just sticking with this old one and, like suing people to death, over copyright infringement. The other thing is, I don't know if you remember this. I think this was earlier this year, where Disney outsourced a bunch of jobs and brought over a bunch of visa holders to work at Disney, and fired a bunch of American workers. Which you can't do that. That's illegal in America. You can't lay people off to
replace them with
exactly.
Okay.
And so these people sued Disney because they had to train their replacements.
Ooh.
Awesome.
And then got fired.
That's literally digging your own grave.
So I'm trying to understand the incentive for Disney, because aside from bad publicity, if they're bringing them to the U.S., they have to pay them U.S. wages, right? Were these more highly?
I don't know. So now these are called H-1B visa holders.
Scabs.
What are you, a 1920s union man? You goddamn scabs taking all of our railroad jobs.
Taking all of our sweatshop animation jobs. Animating all those hair effects in Moana. Because you know that took over a cumulative 2,000 hours just to do the hair.
Yeah, it did look good though.
Oh no, it looks awesome. But they're evil. Moana was okay. The Disney Corporation is not. They bought Star Wars, which was like the most popular franchise ever. And now it will make more money than anything has ever made in the whole entire world. Mm-hmm. And they will keep making Star Wars until... Actually, they'll just make Star Wars forever. They will never stop making Star Wars. I think the Disney Corporation will probably be the only thing that survives into the very distant future.
Like a Mad Max apocalypse?
Well, they're I honestly see them as in the very near future they'll be in everything. There is nothing that Disney won't be in.
Well, because they own ABC, the channel. They own not only ABC Family, they own ABC News. So
they own the YouTube network I used to be a part of. All my checks have Mickey Mouse on them.
What's actually very interesting...
Wait, don't insult the company I work for. I guess technically we work for.
Oh my God.
Fuck you, Disney. Come and get it.
Ooh.
Is that...
the sudden realization that we're on the Disney payroll.
Hey, you know what, Disney? You want it? I will stop.
I will fight you.
No, here. I will fight you, or I will surrender peacefully, and I will sing nothing but your praises if you give me $5,000 a month for the next 30 years, adjusting for inflation along the way.
I thought you were just send a hitman after you.
No, yeah, that's a surefire way to get...
Guys, if I die, it was the hitman and it was Disney. Investigate. What are you making that face for? What did you just find out? What have you discovered?
I'm looking at all the shit that Disney owns.
Oh yeah, it's everything.
ESPN? Universal Basketball Association Studios.jpg? They just own that one JPEG.
So this is where you were saying we're never going to stop them because they've taken over already.
Well, and it'll be to the point. And Disney is very clever in that, when you watch a Marvel movie, you don't see any traces of Disney until you get way through the credits, right? Mm-hmm. So they are at some point just going to take over everything quietly. I'm not saying they're trying to destroy the world. I don't really care. I'm not worried about them ruining franchises or anything.
You just need to let it go.
Let it go.
Stop it. Don't go any further. We'll get sued. They'll come after us.
I can't hold it back anymore.
Under Disney, we know the way. I think you should just send a letter to Disney and say, "You're welcome."
I was going to do a "you're welcome" joke, but I guess not. I'm Moana.
I was going to say, stop all your whining and moaning.
The only thing that does concern me is I was actually going to do a segment on this later, so I'll expand on it later. But entertainment corporations owning media, that's such a huge conflict of interest.
Oh, here's the most evil thing they've done. They don't like me pirating their movies. But hey, guess what, jackasses? You made movies about pirates. What's
How
the
dare
message?
They appropriate pirate culture
And be against pirating.
You made children's movies about pirates.
I've told you guys about that book that I like, Meg, right? About the giant shark.
Uh-huh.
So in like 1996, when this book came out, Disney bought the rights to that movie. And then the movie like wasn't being made and is still just barely being made almost 20-something years
Did it
later.
have Jason Statham in it?
Yes. That would actually be good if you just adapted it and his code name is the shark and you just totally change the entire premise of the original story to just mishmash it around.
Be the Hitman horror movie we always wanted.
The shark is the hitman.
Can you imagine a shark in like a tuxedo walking through a party?
It's like Octodad. You ever played that thing? Yeah.
Yes, my name is Gil Finsley. Oh, it's right here, right this way, Mr. Finsley.
No,
He's like
it's
squeaking.
Yeah, because he's like having to wobble his fins.
He's not walking. He's like flopping like he's on dry land.
No. See, it's one pant leg that he's got the tail through.
And he's like trying to seduce a woman. Mr. Finsley, is that a fin, or are you just happy to see me?
It's called a clasper. What
do you think a shark? Like, if you had to do a voice for a shark, so I'm kind of doing it like his teeth can't touch together. Hello.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
You a bit of Sean Connery that doesn't close his mouth.
Yes.
That can't close his mouth.
That's good for a side character, but like as a protagonist in a film.
Can you imagine a shark and he's dressed as a gardener and he's like a weed whacker? Was this your first day on the job? So sorry.
Oh my, how clumsy of me.
See, now I want fan art of Gil Finsley.
Send
in various Hitman disguises.
Send your fan art of Gil Finsley to saltmineradio@gmail.com.
Now I have to Photoshop Gil Finsley. I won't be happy.
All right, yeah, you'll have to do that. Okay, so yeah, Disney Corporation, evil. It will never be stopped, and there's nothing we can do to stop its endless progress. We're all just cogs in the machine.
But tonight,
of Disney Castle,
we get to overthrow at least one machine, and that is Big Al's salt mine. We're gonna really stick it to him with this awards show, right? Really like burn him with some zingers.
I don't know. I'm kind of bummed out now thinking about how Disney's just gonna destroy the whole world. So
I forgot what we were doing. I have such a short attention span. Did we get the kosher menu?
For who?
Why do you want to know their names? Do you want me to make a list, Lane?
Kosher aficionados.
Send me the kosher list, Lane says. Speaking of lists, let's transition into our topic of the week.
And our topic of the week is 2016 The Awards. Who did it? Who did it best? Music, movies, television,
Video games?
books.
You know who it is.
No, nobody reads anymore.
I read a book.
What? No, you didn't. Shut up.
You're right.
Yeah.
I was like, I did, and then I realized I did not. I didn't read the book. I told people I read the book. Okay, these are the awards we'll be presenting tonight. So let's start off with
Best movie.
well, no, that'll be the last one.
Oh, okay. Best
television program.
Best television program of 2016. To recap, the ones that I can think of off the top of my head that I enjoyed. Stranger Things.
Oh, that one's probably going to win, isn't it?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Ooh.
but was not.
Didn't come out this year.
I didn't like it.
Daredevil season 2.
Black Mirror.
I didn't watch Black Mirror.
Nobody's seen that fucking Twilight
Luke Cage,
Zone
but that was bad, so don't even nominate it.
Top hits on Google are Walking Dead, This Is Us, which I've never seen or heard of before.
That's the one with the fat lady in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
where her husband is a model.
That's unrealistic. Now I know how it feels. Okay. Grey's Anatomy. They haven't put
That's
that horse
still
down
going.
yet.
Can't
Yeah.
believe that. Ooh.
Oh, Ash vs. Evil Dead. I don't know if it's going to show up on there.
Yeah, I don't know. This wasn't really a banner
Stranger
year.
Things.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm opening the envelope. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It's Stranger Things.
My personal best of the year will be Ash vs. Evil Dead, but I will vote Salty Awards goes to Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Congratulations, Stranger Things. You did it.
Yep. Honorable mention to
Daredevil season 2.
No, to Westworld.
Big Bang Theory season 9.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, television, that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
See, I am liking that there's this broader envelope of Hulu, Netflix, etc.
I thought this would be more of a fight, but it's not.
No,
Let's move on to best video game of the year. Hitman, Titanfall,
Doom.
Doom.
I like Doom a lot.
Knee Deep was all right.
What was the other one? Oh, Overwatch. Overwatch's probably gonna win.
No. What? I don't have that much fun with Overwatch.
I like Titanfall.
I like Titanfall quite a bit. I like it more than Overwatch.
I really
personally.
like Hitman though.
Oh, No Man's Sky. Don't count out No Man's
Oh my
Sky.
god. Okay, so what do we got?
That wasn't a video game. That was a money-making scheme.
Oh, Civ 6.
Lane, you played Civ 6.
I
so-
love it so much. I destroyed every nation as Gilgamesh before the year 2000, and I razed every city. Didn't matter if they had a wonder or not. Burnt it right to the ground.
This year was shit for video game releases because everything got pushed back.
Mm.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that Titanfall 2 probably takes it.
I could go with that, yeah.
Doom is good though.
Okay, so Titanfall 2, while being very fluid, Doom I think I'm going to say is my favorite because that refreshed a game that I didn't think could be refreshed. And did it in a way that I really, really liked, especially when a lot of people said it was going to be bad. So I was expecting it to be bad. So going into it, I was like, holy shit, this game is awesome. And then I thought I was going to be the only person the next day on the internet saying, I don't know, guys, I really like Doom. It's really good. I don't know what everybody... And then I get there and everybody's singing his praise. I say, damn it.
I'm gonna go Titanfall 2. I was playing through Doom. I have to play through it again. Maybe I was not in the right mindset. I don't know. I mean, I liked it. I just didn't. Wasn't in love with. I didn't finish it.
All right, Titanfall 2 and Doom are both up there with Game of the Year.
Well, actually, Gage hasn't played the campaign for Titanfall 2.
That's true.
So,
You also haven't finished Doom, so
That's true.
we're going to hand it over to Lane's consideration because I've only briefly played both.
I'm opening the envelope right now. And look, both games won.
Oh my
wow.
God! Doom and Titanfall
Well,
2
two.
taking the top spot.
At the same time, congratulations.
You both earned it.
Yep. Except for you, Bethesda.
Like the AAA titles this year fucking sucked. Call of Duty sucked.
yeah.
I guess Battlefield 1 is good. Didn't even play the beta.
Oh, so I watched the campaign because I'm not going to spend $60 to play a campaign that you can beat in 3 hours, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed very lackluster. I don't know how fun the multiplayer is. We'll just assume it's okay. Like Until Dawn was fun, but that's a game you can play through it once, you know.
Story
Because
games have that limitation.
yeah.
All right, so that was video games. Moving on to...
This is going way too smoothly. Let's talk music. I didn't. How will I listen to? Ooh, did Compton came out this year, right?
I thought Compton came out last year.
Fuck. Oh, that new Childish Gambino album.
New Childish Gambino, Awake My Love.
It's so good.
Has some really good stuff on it. Very good. Like he said something about how these songs were like an exercise in tone or whatever. He nailed that vibe.
Absolutely.
So definitely.
That's my album of the year.
All right. I, of course, semi-sarcastically put up Rick Astley's 50 as album of the year last week. Other albums here, the albums that are up for consideration at the Grammys are 25 by Adele, which is...
Who? I don't know who that is or what that is. I've never heard of that before.
Lemonade by Beyonce. I'm gonna debunk why all of these are shit.
Oh, good. This is what I wanted.
Purpose by Justin Bieber.
Didn't even know he was still making music.
Views by Drake.
Boo!
And A Sailor's Guide to Earth by Sturgill Simpson. Scrolling back up to 25, that might as well be the number of writers who worked on this album. We got Danger Mouse, Max Martin, Shellback. These are all Ryan Tedder. These are all huge powerhouse pop music craftsmen. So this is 25 is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's immaculately made and has zero feeling behind it. The big song off of it, of course, was Hello.
That came out this year?
It's up for album of the year, so I think it came out at the beginning of this year. Yeah.
Wow.
That or like December, like right after the cutoff for the Grammys.
Lemonade by Beyonce. They're like, wow, this album's a concept album about how she's gonna leave Jay-Z and he cheated on her. It's so brave of her to put out. Well, she put it out as a Tidal exclusive, and Jay-Z owns Tidal, so it doesn't take a genius to figure out that they manufactured this drama as a money-making scheme.
What?
And I haven't heard all of Lemonade, so I can't talk to how good it is, but I've heard that it has some really creative sampling and some good music on it.
It's creative stealing.
It's the black man taking the black man's music. Considering
Black
that
on black crime.
Damn it!
Got him.
You were like, blah, blah, blah.
Considering it has
We'll cut that.
No, keep it in.
That's clever. Considering it has Mike Dean on it, Mike Dean who produced My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Mike Dean.
For Kanye.
Oh, that guy who beat the shit out of that prostitute and got away with it.
Me?
Gage, you've never been with a woman. Let's not lie here. You can cut that part. I was just trying to.
No, that's good. That's a good one.
All right.
You've never been with a woman to even beat one.
So Lemonade's not a bad album, but the politics around it make me a little about it.
Yeah.
Anything released as a title exclusive is
Oh yeah.
should be disqualified.
All right, so
Yeah.
moving on to
Purpose by Justin Bieber. The big thing against this one is that it was by Justin Bieber.
and not hating on him because he's like a weird sissy guy, but it's mostly because he's just a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, like time has shown him to be a terrible person.
The guy's the biggest asshole out of most celebrities.
Yeah,
that
but
I've
I
seen.
mean, didn't we do that to him?
Oh yeah, he didn't have a chance.
No, he really did.
Moving on to Views by Drake. You're talking about title exclusives. This is an Apple Music exclusive. Again, politics getting bogged down. This album was honestly pretty highly anticipated by Drake
so
fans.
I actually listened to this when it came out.
I did as well.
Because what was the one before this? Who cares? Anyway, so that one was okay, and then this came out, and I listened to the whole thing, and once I got done with it, I said, "Well, thank God I've listened to that album and never have to listen to it again," because that was boring. It was boring.
Drake is the David Cage of music.
That's a pretty bold claim. I'm sure there's somebody worse than Drake.
Nope.
You think Drake's the worst?
He's the worst.
Okay.
But everybody loves him.
I've said this before. Drake has some of the best producers in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best beats, all that, and some of the best ghostwriters.
Ghostwriters?
It's because he has Drake privilege. Because he was rich and then he could just afford.
No, he started from the bottom, Gage.
No, stop it.
Yeah,
I was going to say, started from the top, and now we're even more at the top.
The bottom of the best rack of equipment and producer. We'll go to the top of the rack.
Yeah, he had to buy everything himself to get where he is.
Oh, man, with all that Degrassi money.
You know what? Views, end of the day, it's just a bad album. One Dance, good song. Views, bad album. That's all I'm going to say about it. The last one is A Sailor's Guide to Earth, and again, I know little to nothing about this, but considering that the only writer credited is the guy who also performed it, I have to go with that because that sounds genuine. It's like how Beck got it last year because he played all the instruments on it and wrote all the songs. I'm not a Beck fan, but you got to respect the integrity of an artist.
That's what I'm going to go. I'll vote for that as well.
All right. A Sailor's Guide to Earth by Sturgill Simpson.
Whoa, hold on. David Bowie, right before he died.
Yeah, Black Star.
We'll say he wins. I'm kidding. We're not going to do that.
I'm going to guess that David Bowie is up for something else later on.
Artist who died, so we got to give him the
Best
pity
dead
award.
artist.
So I know that we're just going to get that out of the way because we were all worrying about the
Best gospel album.
The contenders for best gospel album. I'm going to go with A Worshipper's Heart by Todd Dulaney. That's his live album. And it really
shows.
No, I'm going to go with Demonstrate by good old Bill Murphy.
Oh,
another live album.
True, that's a good one.
Okay.
And it shows.
I guess the only other thing about music that I wanted to do, come on, was
Best engineered album?
The best engineered album, non-classical. And that one I'm going to have to give to Black Star by David Bowie.
Okay, best engineered album. I imagine like a sweaty mechanic with a welding torch, like making CDs.
Yeah.
And so
I imagined a coal shoveler in like the engine room of a steam
Bowie
ship.
needs more power. There we go. The steam-powered mic's working nicely.
yeah, this will probably be a high point for David Bowie's career, winning the Grammy for best engineered album, non-classical.
And it really shows. And what is our next topic? Or what is our next award?
Our next award, we're going to have to go to movies, right?
Yeah.
No, there's got to be.
Okay, what is like your favorite song that came out this year?
Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande is really good. Closer by the Chainsmokers Needs to Die.
Oh, I hate that song.
Yeah. 21 Pilots Betrayed Me, as I talked about previously.
Yeah.
Stop all those. Wait, actually, that's how we get famous. We insult the 21 Pilots. It'll drive traffic to our podcast.
I'm not trying to start beef with you, 21 Pilots.
Yes, we are.
Oh my
you,
God,
21.
this episode of this podcast makes fun of the hashtag 21 Pilots.
Buy our safety pin to show that you support 21 Pilots. Okay, so a song that I really like this year. I like Redbone by Childish Gambino.
That song's good.
I like Company of Strangers by Third Eye Blind.
My favorite song is Zaddy by Ty Dolla $ign.
She keep calling me
Zaddy. That's our song of the year.
Zaddy by Ty Dolla $ign.
She keep on calling me Zaddy. She keep on calling me Zaddy. That little baby got a fatty. She keep on calling me Zaddy. She keep on calling me Zaddy. She keep on calling me Zaddy.
Notice me, Ty.
Notice me, Zaddy.
That Ariana Grande song was pretty good.
Dangerous Woman.
No, the side-to-side one. I like that one better.
I like it because the radio edit changes Nicki Minaj's line, wrist icicle, ride dick bicycle, to wrist icicle, ride butt bicycle.
Okay, do you know what is so baffling about that song is that it had been out for 2 weeks, and I heard it like the second day it came out, and I said, oh yeah, it's about Ariana Grande getting fucked by some guy. And 2 weeks later, people are like, this song's about her having sex? I'm like, what? That's
Won't
what
her wig fall off if she has sex?
That's literally a line in the song. Ride dick bicycle. How fucking stupid do you have to be to not realize? What? I don't know. I don't know how to interpret this song. I don't know what it's
Does
about.
the FBI arrest anyone who has sex with Ariana Grande because she still looks like a child?
We need to do a completely inconsequential conspiracy theories episode where it's like, Ariana Grande's bald. I don't really care if she is or not, but I'm going to believe it.
No, I believe it. I believe that is a fact.
Wow, I don't think I have heard. I haven't heard the majority of the top 2016 songs.
Did Hotline Bling come out this year? That
Was last year.
I thought that was on Views.
No, it came out before Views.
Oh, well, it's a shit song.
Yeah. Broccoli is a good song.
Side to side. Juju on that beat.
You know what? Just pick a song that didn't necessarily come out this year, but is your anthem of 2016.
Ooh, okay. The anthem of 2016.
A lot of change in 2016. A lot of groundbreaking, but none of it actually happened. A lot of perceived groundbreaking.
Yeah, a lot of fake realizations. I don't know. I liked Real Friends off of Life of Pablo. I'm not trying to make a point about my year there or anything like that, but I thought that was a good song.
I'm going to say 99 Luftballons. Because it's about everybody panicking over nothing.
I'm going to say the mashup of 99 Luftballons and 99 Problems.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's my anthem. I just want a montage of shit in 2016 happening to 99 Luftballons.
The original German version or the English version?
Whichever one you want. No, because I do the German version. Like, are you trying to say that Trump is a fascist? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to say anything. Well, I am trying. Well, that's not true.
I have not.
I'm trying to say everyone's a superhero. Everyone's a Captain Kirk.
Let's move on to the elephant in the room. Patrice O'Neill. No, the movie awards. Let's break it up into categories.
All right.
Best comedy this year.
Okay.
Have I seen any comedies this year?
Central Intelligence was all right.
See it.
It's got Dwayne The
What?
Rock
No,
Johnson
that movie was horrible. I went and saw that movie. That movie was horrible. And it wasn't just because I had to see that with my grandparents who thought that was like a children's movie. Like even me, the funniest part was looking over and going, wow, Nana's really not enjoying this. But I said, neither am I, so I'll have to enjoy Nana not enjoying this film.
I'm trying to think because I honestly didn't really go to the theater that much this year.
I went a whole bunch.
I'm going to say Moana is my best comedy simply for the scene where he's half shark.
Nah, that was pretty good.
And I lost my mind.
Yeah, he was going nuts.
I was so tired. I was sleep deprived. And that scene just hit me in a way that I was like, like laughing like Jesse Eisenberg and shit.
Actually, I'm going to say, Batman versus Superman. Best comedy.
Yes, it was the funniest movie I saw in the theater.
I can laugh now, but
because it was funny that I didn't walk out of the theater after.
No, there's legitimately laugh at how bad it is moments.
Oh, the piss jar?
The piss jar where he's swinging Superman around on a rope when he hits him with a sink. When Batman goes, no!
No! Martha, how do you know that name?
Batman's line could all just be me going,
And then downshifted. Yeah. When two of my childhood heroes showed up on screen for the first time together, and I didn't bat an eye because it was so fucking lame.
I'm gonna nominate the second live-action Scooby-Doo movie for best movie of 2016. We watched about 5 minutes of that film the other day before we had to stop watching it because it was just too much. I'm nominating it because it had Spooky Space Coop in the background for about a solid 5 seconds.
Rewind it and go, there he is. There's the space coot.
Is that the guy in the astronaut helmet?
That's the alien.
He's in the background.
Wow.
That's the winner for me.
Close runner-up, Inspector Gadget 2.
Who plays Inspector Gadget in
French Stewart. And he's trying really hard not to be French Stewart, but because he's trying to do the Gadget voice, which is that "Hello, Penny." He's trying to do that voice, but he just comes
like French
It's
Stewart?
just French Stewart.
All right, so
Oh my god.
here it is. I'm opening the envelope. Oh my goodness, it's the second live-action Scooby-Doo movie with the close runner-up.
Written and produced by James Gunn.
And that is our top comedy pick for 2016.
All right, best action film.
Best action film.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna say Revenant.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah,
It did have the best action.
I'm joking. I was just trying to get a rise
No,
out
it had
of you
really
there.
good action in it, though.
When it had action, it did have good action. Creed came after the cut. It was in 2015, but yeah. It would be a shoo-in for me otherwise.
Deadpool had some good action in it.
Eh.
I'm not going to say the Avengers because that was all close-up shaky cam shit.
Yeah. How about like Civil War, anything like that?
No.
The Good, the Bad, the Weird.
Stop it.
I liked that movie a whole lot.
Solid.
Favorite foreign film that I watched last week. The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. I'm opening the envelope. Look, there it is. The Good, the Bad, and the Weird.
I didn't get my nomination in.
For foreign film that we
Best
watched.
foreign film.
That we watched last week.
Oh, that we watched last week? Oh.
Sure, just tell us what foreign film you were going to throw in.
Well, I just didn't want you to say that one because I didn't really like that
The
one.
Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It won. Congratulations.
Oh, Star Trek Beyond came out this year.
That had a good
sci-fi action movie.
That had a good scene in it.
How
they
about Magnificent Seven? That's going to be mine.
Good action, but forgettable, I believe.
That's going to have to be mine.
Again, I'm going to nominate Central Intelligence, Best Action.
Wait, what?
Ooh, Shin Godzilla.
I see. Ooh,
That's best foreign movie.
you're right.
Opening up the end is Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla for
Shin Gojira.
best action movie. I would agree to that, even though it has a long stretch of nothingness.
Oh, no, I was gonna say foreign film because
I'm gonna have to say Magnificent Seven's the best action movie. Because nothing else really good action came out this year.
I keep wanting to say Mad Max Fury Road, but that came out like 2 years ago.
And let me open up the envelope. And it is Mad Max Fury Road, second year in a row.
Wow, incredible! I can't believe it.
Best action movie. Congratulations to George Miller and Tom Hardy and women.
Women everywhere. You've
All
won.
right. Best drama.
Best drama.
Green Room.
Yep, Green Room.
Anyway,
Best animated film.
animated film. Well,
Gotta be Moana. Right?
No, hold on. I'm opening up the envelope. Oh my God! Look, it's Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Probably the best animated film of all time. Moana, runner-up, I guess. Who cares?
Best thing you discovered in 2016. Doesn't have to be new in 2016, but something that you were like, oh man, this is cool.
Bondage porn.
welcome to the club.
Oh.
We've got rubber suits.
I was joking.
We've got rubber suits.
Latex.
Well, I'm allergic to latex. My favorite discovery was Garth Brooks Radio on Sirius XM. Because the man is... Oh, I think he might be crazy. So he's going to play a Bob Seger song, and he'll be like, this next artist, you find someone who defines greatness. And he's talking like that. Like, he'll be... When they do the promo, they're like, Garth Brooks, his music and his favorites. When you talk about Bob Seger, talking about night moves, you're talking about Hollywood nights. And this is a perfect impression, by the way. I could be Garth Brooks. And he just, he's all, and here's Bob Seger. And then, could have been older. And then it's like, what are you doing? And then sometimes he's like, oh yeah, we went down there, we wrote this song, we had a really good time writing it, I hope you guys enjoy it. And then when he starts talking about anyone, Bob Dylan, when you think of the greats. And you're like, shut up, dude. Like, he's like making the most profound statement ever. I had this on cassette back in '64. Anyway, that's my favorite discovery.
Favorite discovery, Garth Brooks Radio. Best podcast segment.
Okay.
I'm gonna nominate Gejwa Noah.
Oh, we're getting this meta already? Okay.
Well, what's our favorite moment of our podcast from this year?
Okay. My favorite, maybe my favorite segment is Lane's chainsaw preparedness.
That's
good.
the best segment of the year. Lane's chainsaw preparedness.
I know it sounds like we're just patting ourselves on the back for being funny, but that's exactly what we're doing. We think we're very funny, and we're really congratulating
ourselves. It's our 13th
ourselves.
episode, damn it.
Yeah.
We made it past the 12 threshold. Usually people get to 12 and they drop off, but we're still going strong.
The 12 Club.
So, Lane, did you hire those roof snipers that I told you to hire?
Roof snipers? I didn't think to because we're underground, so there's no roofs.
Well, I just need them for crowd control.
People are going to get pretty unruly.
You know what? Sorry, I told them not to worry, and they're probably already booked.
Well, it's not... Well, okay, just get 4 guys and then give them, like, cardboard wrapping paper tubes, and that should be fine.
Okay. You got it.
All right, so before we go to the show, I think we should read some emails.
All right.
And we have 2 this week.
Awesome.
The first one. Subject line, your YouTube video plus brand Zuka. Hey, I came across your new video on YouTube, and I think it's perfect for our platform. I highly doubt that.
Which video does it say?
Sorry, bub.
No.
Disney already snatched us up.
I work for Brand Zuka. We are an advertising platform that helps you distribute your video beyond YouTube.
Thanks.
You simply enter your video, your target audience, and hit launch to get it playing through dozens of ad networks on sites all across the web. I would love to have you try us out. So here is $50 to help you run a test campaign. Simply register for free at brandzuka.com and use coupon code 50OFF. Our platform is super easy to use, but if you need anything, I'm here to help. Cheers, Macy. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say fuck off and die.
Well, no, I'm just going to give off the coupon code. So if anybody wants to advertise their video with this shady organization that reached out to us on YouTube videos that have 20 views apiece on them, go right ahead.
Coupon code 50OFF.
No spaces. Off is capitalized, and 50 is just like the numbers. So 50 off. 50OFF. And our next one came from one Styles Bitchley, is the username. Die Antword rules. Also, Lost Boys has a great soundtrack. And you forgot to mention how the Cecil Hotel was used to film a scene in Fight Club, but I guess first rule of Fight Club. I did not know that, the Fight Club.
I didn't know that either.
Okay. What was the first thing they said?
Die Antword rules.
Okay, and what was their name? Charles Bitchley?
Styles Bitchley.
Styles Bitchley. That's
like
what we're calling him.
Like the character from like Teen Wolf, Styles. Remember Styles?
That's what we're going to be calling him.
All right, Styles.
All right, Mr. Bitchley.
I thought it was I assumed the gender to be a woman.
All right, Ms. or Mr. Bitchley.
Lost Boys does have a great soundtrack.
I like that we immediately got confrontational with the.
I know. Thank you so much for sending in an email, by the way.
To saltmineradio@gmail.com. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Lost Boys, great soundtrack. Cecil Hotel, creepy as shit. I'm so glad you could add to the lore.
We keep coming back to the Cecil Hotel. It's part of our lore at this point.
It is part of our lore. But nowadays they go by the Stay on Main, right? But
so we should send a reply.
We should. We are typing out your reply right now.
Live on air.
Sir or Madame Bitchley. Thank you for the email.
keep listening to our show. We are desperate for more attention.
We are dying out
like,
here.
like this. And sand.
All right.
So the only thing that we do like more than reading the emails is replying to them on air. So send emails to saltmineradio@gmail.com. Anyway, we have a show to run. So we'll see you guys next time. Oh, on our radar. What's on our radar?
Ooh, okay. Things that are coming up, especially now since we're approaching the end of the year. Here in the salt mine, it's December, which means that it's the end of the year. I'm not sure what it's like on the outside world. You may have adopted the Roman calendar, as I suggested.
I keep writing letters.
I hope Pitbull hosts the New Year's Eve show again.
Mr. Worldwide.
Dale.
Dale.
Other than that, nothing else to look forward to. It's a cold, bleak world.
I'm going to watch Gremlins 2 one of these days.
Well, actually, I don't know if it's a Christmas movie.
Well, hold on. I'm going to show you guys Samurai Cop because I'm so excited. Eventually.
Gee, I don't know. I don't know about all that.
It's on our radar. It's a few blips away.
That's why it's on our radar and not shit we're going to do right now.
Mm-hmm. I hope to God that I don't become one of those people who's oddly obsessed with animatronic bands from pizza places.
Oh, I put us in to go to Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to be going to that. Look forward to
Countdown to Terminus. That's on my radar.
I officially changed my Twitter bio to award-winning filmmaker.
How long till Terminus? What month is it now?
It's June. The Terminus Anime Expo Countdown.
The Double Con Countdown.
Double Con Countdown.
Double count countdown.
What? Whoa.
Double count countdown.
Yeah, I was like, what did you just say there? Now, here's the only problem. I don't think my funds can handle 3 conventions.
No, I was going to say, we're not going to ever stoop to the level of a GoFundMe.
No,
to get to
yes.
conventions.
I'm shilling. Please, give us money.
Anyways, so we're trying to get to Terminus, which is a film festival that our film will be shown
We're not actually
at.
begging for money, don't we?
We're not begging for money. We're just saying that...
For psychology.
Do not send your money to us. But that's something we're looking forward to and we're going to be working towards, and it's going to be great.
So look forward to that. We have to go put on a show. Are you guys ready?
I was born ready.
There's no one I'd rather be doing this with, than maybe like some competent people. But you guys are the closest thing I got to that. Let's get it done.
Okay.